And Aidan Hutchinson, what a home run.
Certified dog.
It does feel like.
It makes me so happy. I was nervous about it because Lions always f this stuff up.
If there was ever a quote-unquote Dan Campbell guy, out of everybody in the draft, it was Aidan Hutchinson.
Yeah, it was the guy.
That guy, you sleep at night knowing I'm going to get everything out of it.
I still have people about the Lions not taking Malik Willis at number 2.
I'm sure most of you know Pat McAfee. Great show, streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. Yesterday, Pat McAfee had something really interesting to say when they were recapping Hard Knocks.
Is that the guy that has Aaron Rodgers on all the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's Pat McAfee. And this was a clip of him talking yesterday about Aidan Hutchinson and labeling labeling Hutchinson as a home run pick.
That team's, though.
Oh, yeah.
He has that team's attention, I think we all see.
Yes.
In Aidan Hutchinson, what a home run.
Certified dog.
It does feel like.
It makes me so happy. I was nervous about it because Lions always f this stuff up. Aiden is a dog.
Yeah, it feels like he is. Feels like he's going to be a guy that's going to work. He's not going to get too comfortable or complacent. Understands that there's a bigger legacy on the line. Even if our team doesn't win as many games as we had hoped this upcoming season, he's going to keep getting better. I fucking loved Aidan Hutchinson. I liked MCDC.
A home run pick, Terry. A home run pick.
Yes.
No doubts. Talk about a home run pick. And you have to remember, right? The Lions were in Indy last week. Pat McAfee and his crew were streaming live from practice.
Yes.
So they were there. They were seeing everything. And Pat knows a thing or two about football, I'd imagine, no? Played in the NFL.
I'm sure he does.
For Pat to come out and say, talk about a home run pick, I don't think it's just about the on the field, which is catching everybody's attention, by the way. He's dominating in practice. He's doing a hell of a job so far. He's been everything is advertised so far on the field for the number 2 overall pick in any given draft. But talk about a home run pick. That's a Dan Campbell guy. We talked about it before the draft. If there was ever a quote-unquote Dan Campbell guy that you could bring in, he would play a year, and by year 2 is probably the captain of your defense. Out of everybody in the draft, it was Aidan Hutchinson.
Yeah, it was the guy. Not only is he a home run pick, he's a home run pick, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, he absolutely is. He absolutely is. He's intimidating. He's physical. Everything you want, again, out of the 2nd overall pick. You know, when we have this conversation, just in general, forget the players, who they are. You want them to work out. You want them to be successful. Pro Bowlers, all pro. Maybe a few defensive players, player of the years. That'd be fantastic. That'd be Hall of Fame worthy. But Terry, I see a guy who, that's it. That's special. Checks the boxes. You knew right away with Ndamukong Suh, didn't you? You knew he was going to have a special rookie year.
You knew that, but you also had some red flags about Ndamukong Suh.
Which is fine. You don't have those with Aidan Hutchinson.
No, you don't. Ndamukong Suh kind of, separated himself from the rest of his teammates.
He did.
Aidan Hutchinson seems to be ingrained with his teammates. That's very important.
Ingrained with his teammates, ingrained with the coaching staff. This is a guy where, I'm telling you, next year, he will be a captain. He will likely be the captain of this defense. He will be one of the leaders. And I'm sorry, whether you like Dan or not, or you're not sure if it's going to work out, you can put that all aside for just 2 minutes for me, please. This is a bit extreme, but the point I'm trying to make is it's important to have people who complement each other, right?
It is.
So what Dan Campbell and Aidan Hutchinson are for each other is what Tim Duncan was for Greg Popovich, is what Tom Brady even at times was for Bill Belichick. An extension of the head coach who allows himself to be coached like everybody else, team first. Oh, and he's probably one of your better players on the team.
Mm-hmm.
That for me is what Aidan Hutchinson can provide this team. Can you be an extension? You know, we look at the Rams last season. Who was an extension, of Sean McVay? It was Andrew Whitworth, the tackle. He was the guy that was delivering the coach's message, giving feedback from players to the head coach. And you could argue he's one of their better players, right? He's up there with the Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. So he's part of that group on that football team. And you need those guys. And it just so happens that your premier edge rusher, the guy that hopefully removes you from being bottom of the league every year in pass rush, sacks, etc., who propels you into the top half of the league, maybe even top 10 in a few years, that guy is also your leader. That guy, you sleep at night knowing I'm going to get everything out of him. That guy will commit everything to the game of football, to this football team, to that head coach. I think Pat nailed it on the head.
He did. The only thing you have to worry about
I'm
is
listening.
injuries. That's it. Because
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen. Because if Aidan Hutchinson is injured all the time and he plays, let's say he plays 12 games in the next 2 years, he'll be labeled a bust. So that's the only
Injuries
thing
are
that
part
can
of the
stop
game.
him.
Injuries are part of the game.
I know, but it
can't
hits
really
some
control
people and it
but
doesn't hit others.
I agree. And I'm not going to be too worried about this at all with Aidan. What I will say is Evan Foxy on the show brought up something really funny, which was the Lions typically fuck up the number 2 overall pick. Paraphrasing, but it's basically what he said there.
Or the number 8 pick
They
or the
usually
number 3
mess
pick.
that pick up. Mm-hmm. And you look over the last few years, before Brad Holmes, right? You had Jeff Okudah. That was a mistake.
Big
TJ
time.
Hawkinson, number 8 overall, hasn't really given you Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce numbers. But jury's still out. He's going into year 4. You look at Eric Ebron famously. These picks typically get messed up. But then every once in a while, like the Lions have in their history, you draft a Barry, you draft a Calvin, you draft a Matthew, you draft Penei Sewell. Now you've drafted in back-to-back drafts Aidan Hutchinson. Team's heading in the right direction. This is more so to do with Brad Holmes. And honestly, I know I keep bringing this up. I hate to keep saying the same word, but Jesus Christ, can any of you tell me any other word to use? They have been fortunate under Brad Holmes. And I think you make your own luck. I'm a big believer that you make your own luck. You put yourself in positions to succeed. And when you have a guy like Brad Holmes in charge, oh, well, that's very convenient that Penei Sewell's there at 7. It's very convenient that Trenton Baalke is the GM of the team that has the number 1 overall pick. It's very convenient that you can trade within your division to move up 20 spots for essentially a 3rd-round pick. That doesn't happen in Detroit. It doesn't happen with the Lions specifically. And drafting a kid number 2 overall that looks that good this early, easily your best player on defense. No one will admit it, but he's already your best player on defense from camp, from practice, from his snaps in preseason. He looks like, quote, it. He plays it. He fits that role. Yes or no?
Yes, but let's see what happens in September.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That he should be very good. I'm always hesitant to say that a rookie's going to be a home run because you just never know. But from what I see of him now, he looks like at least a triple.
With Aidan Hutchinson,
But probably a home run.
again, we talked about this before the draft, right? Super important. We were talking about fit, right? Who are you going to draft that's going to come in and fit this team? And let's all forget what we know now for a second. Let's play hindsight 2020. We never knew what was going to happen, okay? Mm-hmm. Kayvon Thibodeau was one of the favorites to come to Detroit.
Yes.
What was his quote-unquote, I'm sorry, I have to ask, character? Selfish, about himself, about his family, etc., the money. Remember all the stories that were coming
I
up?
heard that, but I will say that I think that was a smokescreen to get him into New York.
I agree, but still, right? Those are the
It was still out
conversations
there.
we're having. Malik Willis at quarterback, a project who wouldn't be ready probably for year 2. You were going to the conversations we were having, there was only one player that you could have drafted at number 2 before the draft, before you saw anything out of him, where you would have said that's a culture fit, that's a team fit, that's a coaching fit, that's the guy. And it was Aidan Hutchinson, who you didn't think would be available. Because it would only take Trent Baalke, out of all people, to go and take a swing on Trayvon Walker. And that's damning to me.
That's what the Lions do. Try to be the smartest
They
guy
try
in
to
the
be
room.
the smartest people in the room. They try to know more than everybody else. Like, watch this pick instead of let's go get our player. It's always about watch this. Look what I'm going to do with this pick.
We're talking about the smartest guy in the room. Have you read any of my Twitter crap the last 2 days?
I did.
I still have people bitching about the Lions not taking Malik Willis at number 2.
Okay, so look, guys, I really, really try to be patient with a lot of you. Okay? I appreciate all of you that listen and watch every day. I appreciate you, the ones that watch after.
And
but I'm
love
sorry.
you.
If you wanted Malik Willis number 2 overall, I'll leave you alone. If after the draft and the motherfucker falls to the 3rd round and you want to tell me you still wanted him number 2, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to DM me. Okay? I'll give you my personal phone number. I'll get you into a psychiatric clinic. We'll figure out something.
Sweet
You
of
need
you.
help.
See,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
wanna-
I'm here.
see,
I'm
you
here to
wanna
help.
help
I'm here to
people.
help. I'm here to help.
See, everybody says Adam is mean. This guy's he's a helper.
God,
He's a
man.
lover, not a hater.